And this is Lucas,
And this is Thanks for Playing,
the podcast where we break down the most iconic video games the world has to offer.
Ho! Woo! Hot dog. We got some fun topics today. I'm actually excited to dive into this. But first, we are joined by none other than Hot Mickey. Hot Mickey, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I got a nice, cute little doggo right next to me, just sleeping. Well, not really sleeping. He's just chilling. His eyes are.
You're house sitting.
You're house sitting.
So you got
I
a couple dogs
around me.
How are the dogs?
They've been good. Just when people walk by the house, they get very loud.
They're dogs.
They're dogs.
I do the same.
Just describe your dog, Mickey.
Gorsh.
It makes me appreciate how easy cats are. I fucking love having a cat instead of a dog.
And of course, we are as well joined by the man himself. Just came back from milking some sandworms. Milkman, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I got those big sandworm milkers all over.
The water of life, baby.
Yeah. We got to keep things relatively spoiler free for Mickey.
Yeah.
We won't talk about this.
We can talk about what happened with the Dune popcorn bowl, though.
We will. We're going to be talking about Dune later, so Mickey's going to have to hop off near the end of the episode today. But we are going to be talking about Dune 2, of course.
Yeah.
Can't not at this point.
Dune MMO coming out too. That'll be.
Oh yeah.
It's called Dune Ascension or something.
It's just going to be like a grind simulator, just like getting spice from like. Actually, I'm curious what they could do with the MMO version of that game.
Oh, Dune Spice Wars? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh yeah, that is a thing, but isn't the MMO a different title?
There's a couple. There's a Dune board game that I actually just found out. I think in the last few months.
I didn't know about this.
I think it is.
I saw
Dune
that
Spice
board game
Wars.
at the store.
It is Dune. Wait, is it Dune Spice Wars?
Or is that the board game?
No,
name?
it's not Dune Spice Wars. It's well, I think the board game is just called Dune, but the board game on Steam is called Dune Imperium. I've played that board game. It's very fun, actually. I'm kind of considering grabbing.
Let's do it.
I think the crew would like it. It's a fun one.
Yeah, we're all a bunch of nerds. We're all a bunch of
especially
Dune
now
nerds
that we've all
officially.
seen the movies.
Yeah,
I liked it before I even had seen any of the movies. Now that we've all seen the movies, I feel like
Mickey hasn't seen them.
No, I've seen the first one. I've seen the first one.
He has seen movie.
I've seen
He
movie.
has seen the movies. That's right.
Which I enjoyed the
right.
first
Well,
one probably more than what the common consensus was with the movie.
Yeah, I love that. I love both of them a lot. We'll talk about it more a little bit later, but we got some good topics. Matt, you want to lead it? You want to lead the way here?
Yes, sir. Well, first, this is a fun one that I wanted to dive into, and Hot Mickey, you're here, which makes this one all the more fun.
Oh, I can't wait.
I want to talk Frost Giant.
Oh, I thought you were going with the other one, but okay, Frost Giant it is.
They're both like contentious Mickey topics, which is great.
So recently, Frost Giant has decided that they are turning to the players to get investment capital, or just capital invested into their company, stating that they're going to primarily use it, I believe, for things like marketing efforts and things of that nature. Little foggy on that still, but they're doing it through a platform called Start Engine. And for those that aren't familiar, it's private equity. At this point, still, this isn't like you're buying stocks in a public company. While in theory, any public company could go to pretty much zero. It's very possible and even likely that with this kind of investment with private equity, you'll never see a dime of this money. Your return is essentially based on two factors: either A, if the company gets bought out by a larger company, or B, if they go public. And just based off kind of the messaging that I'm getting from this company, just in general, neither of those seem very likely, because their whole thing they're trying to preach is that they want to remain independent. They want to self-publish, do all these things. So to me, that kind of rules out any partnership or getting bought out by a company, which only leaves going public, which
I don't see that being likely.
I don't
That
happening.
isn't happening.
To be clear, too, allegedly, the development budget for the game is complete. Like the money that they raised through,
I think they got like
VC
around 15
that they went
million.
Yeah, well, they got more than that. I think they got $35 million from just investments like Kickstarter and the VC that backed them initially. And this is kind of like a third wave of funding, essentially. So it's not VC, it's not crowdfunding, it's actually, equity investment on pure spec.
Yeah, because they
really
actually
risky.
have spent very little on marketing. Like, it's mainly just been through word of mouth. Stormgate has been.
Right. And the money here, and I have the Start Engine page pulled up here. They've actually reserved about $776K so far from 431 investors. At the time of this recording, I actually checked earlier, and they gained one investor in the last hour. So good for them. And this money will be used to do like long-term, basically create more runway for the company after the game actually releases. So it's probably the budget for marketing. It's the budget for, retaining people that will drive revenue. I think they're going to have a free-to-play monetization, which will include skins, cosmetics, etc. So probably money to invest in those kinds of things. Pretty interesting. Honestly, I haven't heard of any companies doing this.
This is the first.
So,
in fact, this is even the first I've heard of this. Like, you guys mentioning it, I didn't know about this before you guys brought it to my attention.
If I could short this, I would. I have zero faith in this turning out well. The fact that they have to turn to public investors now after having already raised the $22 million, after having already had or however much it was after the Kickstarter, and the fact that the biggest thing for me that's a red flag is if their current investors, like the VCs or whoever, did have that much faith in them, they should realistically be able to do another round and get more from them. To me, that means they have no faith. And the fact, again, that they're turning to the public through something like fucking Start Engine is just like, it's bad news, Mickey.
Is this where companies go to die, Matt?
Not necessarily. Actually, that's not fair for me to say that. But it's just like such a normie way to do. I don't know. It's just like, for like the pedigree that this game is like, kind of has around it, and like, all these like big former devs and everything. Like, it's not inherently bad to have to go to Start Engine for funding. Like, a lot of companies do that, and that's just a private equity, right? But the fact that a company that like has these, this would be like if two people started a new like, I don't know, like, here's an example I saw a little while ago that I actually considered, like a tequila seltzer company, right? Like,
ooh,
three
good.
or four, like a small company, like ragtag team
Yummy.
that like doesn't have access to like big VCs, right? Doesn't have those connections. That's when you use something like Start Engine, and that's perfectly viable for that situation, right? Raise a few million, get your feet off the ground, and then eventually bring in more investors, so on and so forth. Maybe the investors make a return, maybe not. That's private equity. The fact that like this company at this stage, maybe if they initially did this and then eventually got VC, I wouldn't think so intensely about it. But the fact that they're doing that at this stage, after they've already had upwards of 30, what did you say, Luke? $35 million poured into it at this point, and the fact that, Hot Mickey couldn't even play the game for more than 30 minutes before he got bored.
Let's get this clear. It was not me getting bored.
Yeah, Mickey hated it.
Mickey hated the game.
I did not.
Mickey hated the game.
What?
Mickey
what
hated
the
the game.
hell?
Mickey, I joined the Stormgate stream, and you weren't playing Stormgate.
Well, like I said, it was because it was too difficult, and I didn't want to learn it on stream. Like I thought there was gonna be like a tutorial thing, but I forgot this is not even alpha. It's
Sounds
not
like it's a bad
It's
game.
not even an alpha yet. They're trying to like balance it super quickly. That's why it's like.
Would you invest in this if you
I had the money? I would.
What are they asking for the minimum reservation? If they had a minimum, if you had
Yes,
that 496 right now, why?
I
You
trust
believe
the
in
team.
Tim Morton?
I trust.
I fucking don't.
Mickey, do it.
I
I want to see you do it.
I do not have the funds to do so right now to cover the do it.
Take your savings out and put it in this.
Chambers,
All
you got
these
any
fuckers
thoughts?
come from Blizzard. You see what that company's doing right now, Mickey? Yeah,
During the
all
glory
done.
days of Blizzard.
Nah, fuck it.
Chambers, what are your thoughts on this?
I kind of
Chambers feels like he doesn't have
when
like
did-
a car in this race.
I will say I didn't play StarCraft at all. What year did StarCraft 2 come out?
2010.
2011?
Summer
2011.
2010 it came out.
Okay. So most of these guys came from that. I don't see like Mickey, are they doing anything that seems to be like changing up the formula in a meaningful
they
way?
are doing a big focus on team play to cooperative modes,
like 2v2s,
cooperative modes,
3v3s.
and cooperative multiplayer. And which
Okay.
the genre
game is
hasn't really done
supposedly-
that a lot.
The game is also supposed to have a lower barrier to entry in terms of learning the game, because RTSs are notoriously hard to break
And
into.
which from like the
Yeah,
little bit
yeah.
I've played, like I've noticed it immediately. Like the biggest thing right now is there are hotkeys to select. Okay, here's all your buildings that you can build, and it'll just get a worker, any worker, and then it'll build
Yeah.
it. You don't have to select the worker and then go through the build UI to see what building you want to build.
Okay.
There's just a hotkey just to select buildings. There's one to select all your attacking units that you can build. You don't have to select
Yeah.
which build, like, what building is coming from. And then there's a button for all of your upgrades. You don't have to select which building upgrade that's required.
So they made better
It's better hotkeys.
Oh,
It's-
that's actually,
it's
no. What Mickey's
it's
saying is
actually
actually
so nice.
that saves on like a ton of actions per minute, essentially.
That's
but
interesting.
But Mickey, my thing on this is like the optics of this particular move. It's been about a week since they did this, maybe 2 weeks since they actually made this move. They've raised just like $750,000 with 431 investors. Basically, these are people that are fans of the game, people that probably are going with the Kickstarter, people like you who have probably played a little bit of the game as well, with some extra dough that want to, invest in the game and make sure that it has more runway afterwards. But to me, it just seems like, squeezing more juice out of their fan base, like as much juice as they can out of their fan base as possible. I really don't see them hitting whatever their goal is for this. Like, let's say they're trying to hit $10 million to have like 2 years of runway for everything that they need after the game actually comes out in 2023 or 2024, 2025. It just seems like they're not going to hit that goal, for one. And two, it just seems like they already had the Kickstarter. This just feels weird. This just feels like extra dough.
I'd like to also highlight the team that Mickey is so fond of. Tim Morton at Blizzard from 2014 to 2020. James
Get some new
Anhalt
glasses, Tim.
At
Tim
Blizzard
Campbell and
in
James.
the 90s.
Yeah.
On and off through 2020. The only person that was actually there when StarCraft was being developed is this James Anhalt guy. All the other people that they're highlighting on their Kickstarter, at least, are either came into Blizzard after the fact, or they were in positions that wouldn't have anything to do with
What do you mean?
the actual
StarCraft was being
development
developed
cycle.
until like 2016, 2018.
I'm talking about the initial creation of the game, not like working on an established product.
He's an OG.
Here's the thing. I don't doubt that Stormgate will be a decent game when it comes out. I'll definitely play it with you, Mickey. We'll do the 2v2.
yeah.
Like, I'm down to play Stormgate, and like we just we have an article that just came out on RTSs in 2024. We have a video coming out this week too on YouTube. And honestly, I'm behind it. We've been playing StarCraft for the podcast, and I'm like, hell yeah, dude. I think that like it's a forgotten genre that definitely needs some sort of refreshing IP in the space. So I'm down for Stormgate. I'm just opposed and a little side eye. I'm giving a side eye to this particular method because Matt's right. There's pretty much a 0% chance that anybody here is getting any sort of investment back because they're not going they're not going to go public, and them getting bought by a big studio or a big publisher would kill their vibe. It would just kill like what it would become
if
like
that
a
happened,
machine.
like it would definitely like hurt their value quite a bit.
So why would you have invested the money if you had the capital?
They should just do another Kickstarter is what it is. I mean, that's what I think. They could have done another round of it if they really wanted to. They could have found different ways of raising money. They could have done like a merch campaign. They could have done they could have done a million different things to get people
to be
more
honest,
invested into the game.
I
other
don't
than
see
this.
much of a difference between doing it like this and doing it through Kickstarter again.
Well, this has the guys that people are going to get money back. Or this at least has like a small veneer that is going to pay off for people that are putting this money in. Even though I think the majority of people putting their money in are like, okay, I just lost $500.
No, yeah,
Am I wrong?
That's exactly
Is
how.
that-
That's exactly,
No,
I
that's
agree
exactly
with
how I
what
feel
you're
about
saying.
it
They're
too.
just trying to paint it as like you might get something back eventually, but none of them ever will.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect to
I
get the
don't-
money back through this.
Okay.
Why the fuck would you so you're gonna
But
pay $500
Mickey
to
believes
play
in
this
Stormgate
game?
though.
He's just a stan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mickey, I'm there with you,
angry.
man. I applied
I'm
to
angry.
I applied to join the Stormgate. Whatever the hell the application thing was.
For
I signed
playtesting?
up for
Yeah.
the early access. Whatever. Yeah. I signed up for that and Project L, Mickey. So we'll be
We
there
will
day
be there
one.
day one.
Or not Project L anymore.
Oh,
damn
it's-
it. 2K.
XLR2K.
Yeah, 2K.
Whatever the fuck it's called.
NBA
2XKO.
2K.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
I think my biggest thing, and I haven't played and Mickey, maybe you can actually comment on this, my thoughts on this, because you actually have experience with a lot of these other type of games I'm about to give an example of. But like, there's always other fighters, multiverses, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawler,
Yeah.
or whatever. There's like tons of others, that we've seen pop up here and there. And the only one that's had any real staying power, from what I can tell, has been Rivals of Aether. And even then, that's never quite hit the levels that maybe I think it was hoping to be. Like, for example, with like reaching the point where it has like the same kind of following like Melee. And why is that? Because people would just rather play Melee. And I'm wondering if that's just what's going to happen here. Is they're going to put together a decent game, but people would rather just play Stargate, or fucking StarCraft.
StarCraft.
StarCraft. Because that's just what they know and love, and that's what they've been playing. For
I have
years.
a counter to this.
I
and
also have
Mickey, you could chime in.
This.
My one thing is that I think that the esports ecosystem has room for 2 or 3 titles within a genre. I think platform fighters are in a little bit of a different area, but like if you think about it, fighting games as a whole support like a multitude of different styles of fighting games. You have your Tekken, you have, Street Fighter, you have Smash, you have Blue Blaze, you have Dragon Ball Fighters. And then even in like people, when Riot was developing Valorant, they probably said, there's no way anyone's going to play Valorant. CSGO exists. It's already like the peak like esports first person tactical 5 versus 5 shooter. Right. And I think like there's just like a little bit of a space for a different IP to kind of dive into a space. And I think that if they do it right and they're really good about their development and they listen to the fans and they make a good game, Stormgate could be to StarCraft 2 as Valorant is to CSGO. Like grabs a big chunk of people, grabs new players that are hungry for a new IP. It helps that it's a brand new IP too. And I think it can fulfill a space. That's my thought.
Maybe it could, but I still think it's never going to get enough money to get there. You said like Valorant, for example, they have fucking Tencent behind them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we got 431 investors behind us, baby.
Yeah.
Right, your example with the platform fighters is that Melee isn't even the most popular platform fighter. It's Brawlhalla.
It is.
Yeah,
Is it?
Brawlhalla.
By what?
More than
Brawlhalla
Ultimate?
is massive.
Is it bigger than Smash
Damn,
Brothers
who's
Ultimate?
Probably
playing Brawlhalla.
player base wise, but they have massive like millions of dollars in prize pools in their tournaments.
Okay.
Source.
That's source.
They just have the tournaments.
Someone check the Steam numbers. Someone check the concurrent players on Steam
I didn't know
charts.
people cared about
No,
Brawlhalla.
it is a big casual game that does have like a decent esports following. I would still say Melee is like more popular as an esport, but the player base is definitely bigger with Brawlhalla.
I was referring to the esport.
Well, Brawlhalla still
my
has bigger
point
price
being-
pools than Melee does.
Yeah. Point being, I do believe that there is space for 2 or 3 different IPs, different games within any given esports.
I'd also
game
agree
genre.
with that.
I truly, I mean, there's Dota 2 and there's League of Legends. Those get millions and millions of viewers, dollars. Like those are huge games, and they're the same. I mean, they're both MOBAs. CS:GO and Valorant, and then Rocket League and
like
PUBG.
Dota.
Same
Dota
genre.
every single
Yeah.
year like breaks the record for like the biggest prize pool ever for an esports tournament.
Yeah. And right now, I think StarCraft, I was looking at it when I was doing research for the video. StarCraft 2 is is ranked 21 in most watched esports, according to like
That's still pretty
esportscharts.com.
high up.
Yeah, I mean, it's behind PUBG. So it's behind a lot of things, Mickey. So it definitely
No.
needs to improve.
I'm saying like I'm surprised it's 21. Like I thought it'd be lower.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's definitely below everything I just mentioned, Rocket League, Dota 2, and all that kind of stuff. But the RTS genre needs, like, it's good enough to, It's fun. I mean, I just think it needs like a little bit of a revival. I think RTSs are just like totally misunderstood by the current generation, and they can make a comeback.
I think the team aspect of it and the cooperative aspect will play a massive role into getting people into it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think like the game, I don't know, they got to do a really good push if it comes to like playing the game competitively. RTSs are extremely hard to watch if you don't know what's happening. And like even when you watch League like played and Dota played, there's like a camera that is just like if you watch it from a player's point of view, if someone's playing StarCraft 2, it's unwatchable. It's like watching Faker play League. You can't watch him play League. But like that's like they got to figure out a solution for the spectator sport.
Side note, like because in League you can press like the F key, so like jump around the map, and like Faker like spams those, and like when he streams, like he'll play a different game while playing League of Legends, and people will like cut in his pro esports matches, or like they'll just bring up an overlay of one of his games.
I've seen that meme. It's
and then he goes back and he's dead. He's like, oh, what the hell? It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Is Mike Borheim not at all involved in Frost?
I think he's the one with a different company. Because there's also another section of Blizzard employees that went to go make board games.
Oh, he's with Dreamhaven. I don't know what they're doing.
I think that's the one that's making board games.
No, it says they're video games too.
Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah. There is another like small group of Blizzard employees, or like I know they're still working on their first big board game. It's like a big cooperative board game, like a D&D like game. I forget what the company name is, but was it Chris Metzen that's on it? No, it is Dustin Browder. That was he used to be the lead dev.
I don't know any of these
Dustin
people.
Browder was the lead dev for StarCraft 2 during like the Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm games. And then during Legacy of the Void, I think it was Dustin Kim who I think is now either with Mike Morheim or he's in Frost Giants. I forget which one.
Mickey, you know your lore. You know your Blizzard lore, man. You really
I
do.
love those guys so much.
Shall we move on? Well, actually, any last thoughts on that one, Matt?
Fuck, I'd short it if I could.
All right, I wanted to jump to this next topic that I think is really interesting. We actually just dropped an article on thanksforplaying.live, our website. Matt, where can people find us online if they want to find us online?
Ooh, thanks for playing .live, everybody. Go there. You can find links to our YouTube where we're posting some great video content, links to our Discord, and all of our good social media handles. And we have some great reading content up there too, so come hang out. It's a good time.
Yeah. So we dropped an article called The Rise and Fall of Insanely Predatory NFT-based games. We talk about a couple of big ones. Evolved Apes was a large one. Crypto Zoo, the Logan Paul project, was also a big one. And also another really large game that's still being played right now with a lot of NFT, crypto movement behind it, which is Axie Infinity. I don't want to go into too much detail about these games specifically. We have a video coming out on this. You guys can read the article. But I wanted to ask the group here if you guys believe at all if NFTs could find their way into gaming in any sort of realistic, non-predatory type of way.
Not in a non-predatory way. No. If anyone goes through and reads the article, one of the things it mentions is that a lot of the companies that have thrown their hats in the ring with all this NFT stuff has been EA, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Sega, Nexon, EA. Mm-hmm. Notably, all public companies. Why do I bring that up? Because they like NFTs for the same reason every asshole does. They can make a lot of money off really stupid shit. And this is just going to be a cash grab for them. They're just going to be wanting to prioritize profit over the player. This isn't to, there's ways to give digital ownership without NFTs, I think. Obviously CSGO does that right now and there's no problems. NFTs aren't needed for what people want to say they want to use them for. So I'm pretty vehemently against this. And I'm also vehemently against anything that like an influencer like Logan Paul does, like Crypto. I actually kept up. I like CoffeeZilla. He's
great boxer.
Not right.
Logan Paul, he has to pay back. He's like pledged to pay back the money that was lost in the Crypto Zoo fiasco.
It's only like a portion of it. It's not even like significant, really.
1.8 million is what he's paying back. I don't know how much was lost.
It was like
It was a lot more than that.
But yeah, honestly, I recommend it. We know affiliation. Go watch the CoffeeZilla video on the Logan Paul Crypto Zoo
Fantastic
stuff.
video series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like none of it's good. The only times I think NFT technology is cool is I think it could be very cool utilized with, like, for example, let's say medical records. Maybe instead of having to get your medical records transferred from every hospital whenever you go to a new doctor, you just it's on the blockchain and you have that all secured and safe yourself, right? Like, that'd be super cool. Or your insurance company keeps it on the blockchain, whatever, and when you don't have the insurance, they can transfer it back to you, something like that. But as far as it being in video games, literally not necessary. Because there's just no reason we need it. Like, we can already do everything that it would do without it. Yeah.
Chambers.
Yeah, this feels like you guys ever play Second Life?
I don't know.
I never played it, but
no, you don't know what Second Life is?
Oh, dude,
It's
Dwight
like
played it on The
MMO,
Office.
right?
I haven't
did.
watched The Office.
Oh, that's what he was playing. Yeah.
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 Have you
watched
never seen The
Office,
Office, Mickey?
I've only seen like an episode here and there, but I've never watched all of The Office.
Oh, wow.
Though
I thought everyone
like
has seen that
one
show.
episode I did watch was when Dwight dressed up as Sarah Kerrigan from StarCraft 2. That,
Oh, yeah. You watched it just
I got
because
told
he
he
back to StarCraft.
he dressed up as
somehow,
Queen of Blades. It was awesome.
Mickey, we somehow went from NFTs to Second Life to The Office back
Yes.
to StarCraft again. So thank you. But Chambers, continue.
But
Sorry.
I mean, generally, I'd say the more you're creating opportunities for transactions to occur within a video game, the worse that's going to be overall. I cannot think of a way in which you give more opportunities for ownership and purchasing in a game that would make me excited, because people just want to play a game that I don't see how this positively impacts anybody. And I mean, as we've seen with Helldivers, like even with like just in-game purchases, like people are gravitating towards games like that are kind of pushing back on in-game purchases. So I don't see this. I think people are already sick of like the over monetization of games. So I don't see this taking a serious foothold at all, really.
Okay.
For anything.
Okay. I'm gonna play devil's advocate
Yeah,
here, boys.
Okay.
Lucas talked about me with this a few days ago, and he got me on board with this.
Okay. Here's the thing. I think that there's like a bad way of doing all this kind of stuff, and I'm not truly supporting. I'm not saying like, yo, throw NFTs in all my games right now, I want it, kind of thing. But if you think about like how it could be possible to implement NFTs in a like less predatory way, I think it comes in the things of like minting certain skins, certain cosmetics, or certain, like, let's say you play World of Warcraft, you're in a guild that is the first guild to down like a brand new boss that comes out. That's always a big competitive thing. A lot of times they give away like a skin, or a lot of times you get some sort of title or award. And I think that there's a world where, you make some big in-game achievement and you earn an NFT rather than having to straight buy one from somebody. And I think that particular thing can be sold for anything, you want. It actually would give the player agency over their own dollar again, right? And there's this interesting thing like with Axie Infinity, which is the one of the game that we cover in the article. It's basically a Pokemon-like game where you breed Axies, which are basically Pokemon. These Axies sell for thousands of dollars on the marketplace right now. And you could also buy land in the game, and you could sell plots of land, right? The developer gets 4% of every purchase, but the gamer gets to trade freely with whoever they want on the actual marketplace, right? Now, in your standard sort of revenue model for any video game studio or any video game publisher, they get 100% of the revenue for everything that happens in the video game. So you buy a cosmetic, you pay $10 for a skin, they got the whole $10, right? But in a situation like this, where you actually structure a game to have an open marketplace between players, the players actually get the money back in that situation, right? And I think if you do it where it's like a full play to earn model, if you have a full model where you're just earning NFTs, you're not just like, the game isn't just minting them to everybody. It's actually just showing up in that sort of form. You actually have to complete achievements in the game to get them. Owning those NFTs will have value on the market, and you could sell it back to the marketplace or to anybody on the marketplace for profit and actually earn money, as opposed to the game developers taking all the money.
Damn.
Yeah, I really like this idea.
And I mean, here's the thing: is like, let's say, okay, you guys are playing Helldivers 2 right now, which, by the way, I just got, so I'm down to do some democracy,
whatever you kids call it.
Whatever you kids call it. Let's say there was some sort of achievement that went to all the players that I haven't played Helldivers 2, so I don't really know. Like,
he doesn't know the lingo
like,
yet.
If there was some sort of thing that you guys got, like a time locked event that was happening over the weekend, and
got, like,
everybody
a
that
helmet
participated,
or something.
like a helmet, everybody who participated in it got like a non-fungible token of that helmet after completing the event that you can sell if you want. You don't have to keep it. You could just put it back in the marketplace. It goes up and down in value. Other players can buy it from you. Other players that came into the game late. You now have something of value that you earned from playing the game. And it's backed by, crypto wallets and blockline and all that crap.
This reminds me of like there's items like this in RuneScape. Obviously, they're not backed by a blockchain, but
Yeah.
like items that you get from a seasonal event and that you can sell on to somebody else in game for like large amounts of money.
I was actually gonna bring up RuneScape as this is why I still have an issue like with the way you described it, Lucas, because it's like when you have a free market, it's a free market that's going to be subject to manipulation by like larger like groups of players pooling together.
That is true.
And I think like I was literally a part of a RuneScape merchant clan where they were just literally pumping shit, right? And like I could see that exact same thing happening here. And for that reason, I'm still bearish.
Again, I don't think that we have found out how to do it right. I just think that there's a future where it can be done correctly. Like whatever stopgaps have to be put into place, we're still so early on what this is, which is why everything's failing, right? Like all these people are like trying to do all this stuff. CryptoZoo, like Evolved Ape, like, and even Axie is like pretty predatory. Like it's basically a pyramid scheme as a video game. And like the people, like the coin that they minted for that game, like went up in value so much and then plummeted. And like there's a theory that like basically the devs just made out with a shitload of money in crypto, right? So all this stuff is early adopter BS, and this is what all the Web3 people are saying. Like in 10 years and 15 years, the landscape's going to look very different. I think the interesting thing is that NFT based things like this do actually end up giving revenue back to players as opposed to straight to the studio. So would you sell your helmet, Matt, if you got a cool NFT Helldivers helmet, or would you hold it and see if it went all the way up? What if it went up?
Nah, bro, you know me.
You're gonna hold
that shit.
What if you wanted to buy another person's helmet? What if you wanted to stockpile those helmets?
Diamond Hands Matt.
It's kind of funny we're talking about this. I actually recently, shout out to my coworker, Mark. He got me on Pepe, the meme coin.
Oh my God.
And it started running recently, and I made a nice little chunk. But,
God damn it, Matt. Okay. So
you're
already in. You're already in on this idea.
Yeah, but I'm honest with what it is.
Yeah. Just crap.
I know I was just crap that I was ready to lose all that money.
Okay.
No, I mean, I don't know. And I think the problem too, like, maybe, and I think honestly, at least for me, like I need to see or experience something to be convinced on it,
Mm-hmm.
But again, like you compare it to free market, and like a lot of free markets have a lot of regulations. Like there's all these things that go into it. And I also just want to ask the question too, like, is that even what a video game needs to be?
Exactly. No, personally, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
And
I don't think any of us do.
This has been one big devil's advocate, but who's to say
really
that
want
the
to
next
do that? Just like go trade like stock options and futures, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Like
we want our video games to be like an escape from hyper capitalist like market trends and things like that. That's why if you were to do it full cosmetic, I mean, this is what I'm saying is like I think that devs will figure out how to do it. I think if you go only cosmetic items are open on the free market and those are all non-fungible tokens, that have an actual USD dollar value. The thing is, tradable items in like any MMO already have a real world dollar value. We're just so abstractly removed from it. Like every item in RuneScape or World of Warcraft actually has a gold value and therefore has a USD value, except that buying gold on the marketplace online is against the rules and it's a black market and you shouldn't do it. But if Jagex or Blizzard ever wanted to get a piece of the black market, they could actually open it up in the form that we're talking about here. So I don't doubt that they'll figure it out. There's like so much. They could basically eliminate black market trading by making it in game. You know what I'm saying?
I can also imagine this like be a game that implements this, like there becomes like memorabilia in game. Like imagine like an Apex, like Imperial Howl wins like a championship with some R99 skin, and then Post Malone like he has the skin. He's like, oh, dude, I have I have this in my collection just to look at.
You know,
You're
I'm
convincing
doubling-
yourself, Chambers.
I trust me, I don't want this world to exist, but I see it existing for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna cost so. If it does happen, I'm just like imagining. Like, imagine if Fortnite had NFTs, right? Like, how many kids would be opening up crazy, like crypto wallets with funding
Roblox,
shit with
bro.
their
Well, that's
parents' cards. And
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I know. I mean, are we not already there though?
I think, but I think it would just make it even worse because I think it's one thing if, you know, someone buys $1,000 worth of skins, right? Like some kid does, you know. But I think it's another thing if a kid in an open market gets manipulated by some 30-year-old that's playing the game for 15-year-olds to get their parents' credit card,
telling them to buy this
20 grand, you know, buy 20 grand worth of Ethereum and then transfer that to whatever shit coin is in the game, or they need to like purchase the NFT. I don't know. I think it's very. I don't like it, and I think
okay.
Be like Helldivers.
Yeah, again, I'm not into it, but I am so curious to see what EA, like Ubisoft, like Square Enix, like they will create
Ubisoft
some
has
sort
other
of
shit. They need to just make a good fucking game.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
whatever version of this that we're talking about they create, I think it will they're kind of playing the waiting game and figuring it out, I think, on the back end, and whatever they come up with and release in the next several years is going to hit, probably. Because they're all going for it.
It will inevitably happen, more likely than not, just because it's a way for them to potentially make money, and like you said, they can monetize those player transactions and stuff.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting, man. In 20 years, 15 years, we're gonna just have, you know, everyone wants to be a YouTuber, and then they're gonna have kids that just want to grow up to trade NFTs in Fortnite.
Dude, there's already people like Axie Infinity is a huge player base, but most of the player base is actually in like Venezuela, the Philippines, like emerging markets, basically like, you know, the global south.
They're like paying rent with
and their people are paying rent with the money that they're making on this game through like Ethereum and NFT trading and things like that. So right now, like the people that are like in emerging countries, I don't know the proper Chambers. What's the PC term?
You
emerging
can say
markets.
That. It's not. You don't have to sugarcoat it.
Okay, well, we do have an audience.
Developing
you guys
countries.
Developing countries. They're playing this game, like they're playing the literal NFT marketplace game, and some of them are making a living. Even like those Venezuelan RuneScape bots were doing it, you know, and that was essentially there's like a cousin of what I'm talking about here, but I think it's happening. I think it's gonna hit us. I think it's gonna hit us like harder than we think.
I'm gonna fucking puke.
Or Matt, you're gonna buy 1 million limited edition helmets.
I know who I am. If I see a chance to make money, I'm gonna fucking take it. Like,
oh yeah.
So yeah, I'll definitely participate, but I'll be like, darn me.
Yeah. I can't wait for Matt to just pump like some sort of item, like play to earn item from a video game, like whatever Square Enix has. Yeah. He just has like a ton of this cosmetic item in his wallet and just it busts.
Matt's future is like going to jail for market manipulation in a video game.
So here's my plan. We make TFP NFTs.
Oh yeah.
Wait, didn't we talk about this, Matt, already?
We have talked about it, yeah.
Yeah. We got to do it.
Lucas coin and Matt coin.
The Lucas coin and the Matt coin.
Get a Milkman coin.
Oh yeah, dude. We could each have our own coins. and then we measure our personal value by the value of the coin.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Should we talk about Yuzu?
Rest in peace, Yuzu.
Well, let's run it.
Who here has Yuzu on their computer?
Actually, do I?
Do you, Mickey?
Wait, I'm not sure if I use Yuzu.
Wait, I'm actually not.
I don't.
super
No, I don't have
in
Yuzu.
the note. Can you walk us through that one, Lucas, for myself?
Yuzu is Yuzu has to pay a massive fine to Nintendo because Yuzu is a Switch emulator, which is not inherently illegal to be an emulator, as we all know.
I do it.
Huh?
I emulate shit on the regular.
Okay, cool. But you don't have ROMs and you don't distribute ROMs. You just have an emulator.
Nope.
Okay.
Don't do. I just have it for no reason on my computer.
You just have it. Yeah. So nobody here has Yuzu on their computer. Good. So Yuzu, Matt, basically like this, they have to pay a massive fine. They're basically they're going to completely go away. And yeah, they have to dismantle all their code. They have to dismantle the emulator. They have to take Nintendo got their domain even, like everything is just completely gone. So Nintendo filed the lawsuit like less than a week ago, and then they settled already on that. So they basically settled to completely eliminate the company.
So how does this get shut down, but then something like Dolphin doesn't?
So here's the thing.
Dolphin's
Yuzu,
another
and I was doing
emulator for those that aren't familiar.
Yeah, so
It's because of Zelda.
emulation is not illegal. Distributing ROMs, which is pirated software, is illegal.
So they were
The other thing too, huh?
They were distributing it.
They were distributing it and holding a stash on a drive that people could access, and they were distributing ROMs in their Discord. Like mods were distributing mods to each other, or mods were distributing ROMs to each other in their Discord, and there's like screenshotted proof of this. The other thing is they started a Patreon where premium new features of emulators that were new versions of the emulator that were coming out. If you subscribe to the premium Patreon, you would get previews to, and you'd be able to download.
The
and
moment
access.
money got involved, that's when you put a target on your back. Like you already had the target on your back, but you put like aim assist on for Nintendo. It's like, oh, it's just locked on easy.
yeah.
They also were releasing ROMs for games before Nintendo released the actual game.
That's crazy. I'm surprised they didn't get shut down even earlier. For that.
That's like what I think that also really, because what the fuck is the last Zelda game that came out?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom. It happened with Tears of the Kingdom, and that's like, I think like a month later is when all the shit started going down.
Yeah. Basically, Nintendo claims that 1 million pirated copies and ROMs, like 1 million people got a hold of Tears of the Kingdom before its release through the distribution channels that Yuzu had, and were playing it on the Yuzu emulator. That's the claim in the actual
That's
court
actually
ruling.
an insane claim that many people.
Which is an insane claim. 1 million, like I highly doubt that. But I don't doubt, and also I'm confused on how the Tears of the Kingdom ROM would have gotten into Yuzu's hands, or anybody's hands for that matter. Confusing to me. So if anybody got any insight on how that even happened, I would love to hear it.
I don't know.
Yeah. So thoughts on this? I mean, I know we've talked about emulation a lot on this podcast. I think, some of us here have, I think I have Dolphin on my computer right now too. Played a lot of stuff on Dolphin. I mean, somehow.
Yeah. Through legal.
With legal thing. Yeah.
I reckon if Microsoft has owned Nintendo, this wouldn't have happened.
Matt, this would have happened even faster.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of against Nintendo as a company on a personal level. So I think this is kind of lame. But the businessman in me understands the company wanting to protect its assets, so I don't blame them. If they, and again, I'm like still getting caught up in everything, so I don't know the extent to like how many modded games or like emulated games are being released, like a brand new game, right? Like if that's being released for this emulator, like that's more of an issue than like Dolphin letting you play Pokemon Sapphire on a Nuzlocke run, right? Like there's levels to it, so I understand where they're coming from, but I don't like it. But I understand it. Makes sense. Every company has a right to protect their assets.
Chambers?
Makes me sad. As somebody who I was actually planning on downloading Yuzu around when this all started happening, so it made me very
You were
sad.
gearing up. You were like, "Oh, I can't wait to download Yuzu when we get
Yeah,
home."
because I found out that you've played Use Dolphin and other emulators. Like, you can with Yuzu, you're able to upscale.
Oh yeah.
Switch games to 4K. Like,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, oh my god,
Yeah, that was
like,
a big appeal to it.
Breath of the
Yeah.
Wild in 4K, like Smash.
The guy
in
that
4K.
was doing that on YouTube got shut down too by Nintendo.
Yeah, because that I thought, oh, finally I can play like a modern version of like all of Nintendo stuff, and that was my main motivation to download it, and that makes me sad now that I'm gonna have to wait till Nintendo drops a new console to play something in 4K, or knowing them it'll be at
to drop a
1440p.
console with the processing power of an Xbox 360.
Yeah, it'll be 1440p with like 90 frames a second or something.
Right.
But yeah, it's sad for all us broke boys out there that don't want to spend money on a $60
Or just don't
game.
want to give Nintendo money.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, fuck Nintendo as business people, not as game developers.
Mickey, I know you got a hot take here.
I pretty much I've been through the same song dance over and over. Like, nothing about this surprises me. Like, and it kind of scares me to like what could have happened if PM didn't shut down. If they kept going on their path, something like this would have happened to them, and the PM dev team were not as well equipped. Like, they definitely could not have paid the settlement fee that.
But they weren't making any money on it, would have, right?
No,
Yuzu was
but
making money.
they had good word that like Nintendo was like going to start pressing on them, so they just stopped it preemptively.
I think the thing with that, Matt, is that like if you're running a tournament with thousands of entrants in it, somebody's making money. Like, from Nintendo's point of view, they could argue like, oh, somebody's making money off of this modded game, off of our modded IP. That's all they have to say, you know.
It's also, I'm not sure if it's a good or bad thing that this actually never went to court, and because there still isn't legal precedent for like emulation, whatever could be done about this, and Nintendo would likely win in a court case, is what I'm afraid of. And if this did keep going on and they actually went to court, it could definitely harm the video game scene, especially the modding
As someone
community.
As someone who doesn't know anything about how this stuff works, let's say they went to court, would that be Japanese court or American court?
No, in this particular case, it was American court because it was
Okay.
Nintendo of America
Oh.
bringing a suit to
I see,
whatever the
okay.
parent company of whoever
Yeah.
makes Yuzu.
Yeah.
Tropic something. Yeah, so that would be American court. And the thing is that
Okay.
the courts really stand firm on piracy laws. Like, if there's any inkling of distribution of pirated software, the courts will side with the person whose software it is pretty much every time.
Yeah.
And I think Yuzu just fucked themselves. I was reading the details on this thing. Like, they literally have just like a Google Drive, and they were just like sending out links to ROMs on their Discord. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, the general
Yeah.
thought is just like, yeah, you guys fuck. That's them
That
fucking
was
up. Like,
definitely
I think
a big fuck up.
if number one, if you're in the emulation space, you're not inherently at
hot
risk,
waters.
but you're doing something
You're in
risky.
hot waters.
You're like, there's something, there's a slight target on your back, you know, and like any of these companies could find any sort of argument, including the Dolphin people too. Like, Dolphin could go away as well, like if something gets found out and Nintendo brings something to them. And I think you got to be very, very careful when you're in the emulation space and you're doing anything like this. Yuzu like made a Patreon, you know, they were literally profiting off of the emulation that they made, and they were distributing ROMs. I mean, I think legally it's clear cut for me. Like, they just totally made the wrong moves.
Yeah, they fucked up.
There's a reason 90% of anything gets settled outside of the courtroom anyway, like 90% of all lawsuits that get brought. But this was settled in like a week. So like this was like the Yuzu lawyers probably said, "You did what?" Yeah, sorry, bro. Like we have no we have no case here. So that's what I believe. In terms of like, Nintendo, I think shutting down Project M or Nintendo, just like, the big N and doing this whole thing where they're always shutting down like content creators and things like that. I think this is one of those rare cases where Nintendo actually just had all the legal ground to stand on.
Yeah, they probably had
they just totally
they had the most
right,
justification for this one, I will say.
Yeah, this one, yeah, that's my thought too. And like, I still don't condone anything Nintendo does in terms of its business practices, shutting down like little YouTubers, just like up-resing Tears of the Kingdom. It's like not a big deal, but like this, for some reason, this just feels like a little bit less icky. They're both icky, but like this one's just like, yeah, I mean, Yuzu fucked up.
Yeah.
They just
the more you
just,
read into it,
they,
it's like, okay, this makes sense of like why it shut down. Like
Yeah.
there are so many other things. Like one is like just even using their music in like a lot of stuff gets like shit gets shut down.
Yeah, that's dumb. They're
Especially
in the wrong
when they don't even make like their songs publicly available. Like they don't sell it. Like they can make so much money just by selling their songs. It's not available on Spotify. It's not available on any kind of music distribution sites. Like you can't get them at all.
Yeah. The annoying thing is when Nintendo gets mad like at these games that they don't support, don't port anywhere. They're not available to play on any of their modern systems at all. And they're like, "Why'd you pirate that? Like, we're shutting the whole thing down." Or like, it's just like they can.
Yeah, it's baffling.
They can make so much money if they just released all these things that people are going for. But anyway, big lesson: don't distribute ROMs.
Don't sell
it. Really shitty emulators.
Yeah, if you're gonna emulate stuff, don't sell it either.
Yeah, yeah. Don't sell your emulators, and this goes out to everybody listening to this episode. Do not distribute ROMs.
Yeah,
that's actually illegal. So
yeah,
like literally. So don't do it.
Totally don't download them either.
Yeah.
On the slightly related, I totally didn't find out that there's a website where you can download like pretty much any ebook that you want for free. And I definitely did not go hand on that at all.
Wait, isn't that illegal? Isn't that like a library, the Gutenberg Project? Is that what you're referring to?
No.
Okay.
I'm talking about like you can like download files, and I forget what the file is called. There's a file name for ebooks, and you can like put them on your Kindle or whatever. And,
EPUBs.
Yeah.
EPUB
What's
files.
actually funny about this is that like PM like is well known for like being in like bad terms with Nintendo. Like the PM people already knew this shit and like what precautions they need to take. And so like when people are asking like, oh, I need a Brawl ISO to play PM, and it's like definitely don't look for the YouTube video that has the animation of the flames. Don't do that.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Accidentally click this link.
like all people like whenever something like that happens, like I just see a lot of PM people just like tweet or like post just that image of that fire, and people know exactly what you're referring to. No, it's hilarious.
I get that. That's all like okay. That's all like fun and game. Like that's like on a small scale, that's fine and stuff. Just like genuinely, I'm saying this to people. If you have a ton of followers and there's something on the like anyone can prove about you distributing ROMs, you can get fined. Like you can be liable. So just like. Seriously, be careful out there. Like
is Pirate Bay still a thing?
You have to. Pirate Bay still exists. I don't believe you could access it through US IP addresses or something like that.
So it's like dark web now.
It doesn't come up on Google searches. It doesn't come. It's filtered out of like any search engines and stuff like that. I believe you need to have a VPN to access it, unless you're able to get to it right now.
Damn.
There's some like. I'm not sure if these are the actual. I don't even want to click on them, but
By the way, this is coming from a guy that used to torrent everything in high school.
Bro, so. I got
hell yeah.
My like I don't know if it was like a criminal like a government branch or just my internet provider, but I torrented a shit ton of stuff at my parents' house. They got
my stepbrother got a notice from the FBI. For torrenting stuff.
Yeah. No, I didn't know what it was. I had specifically downloaded Project X, the movie,
Dude,
That's what
of all
I
things.
mainly used it. I didn't use it for like music or anything. I just used it for anime and movies before like this was like pre-Crunchyroll era, you know, and like
Yeah.
It was
back when,
hard
like, you were
getting
using,
access to
like,
anime back then.
like movie6.com to find like release, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
But Pirate Bay, I'm like, oh, I could just get the movie in HD. This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That guy's in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Kim, was it Kim.com or was that the Mega Video guy?
That's the mega video guy.
Okay, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, dude. I mean, they cracked down on this stuff like a decade ago. I remember when this was going on, like when Pirate Bay got taken off of search engines, when like Kim.com was like on trial and stuff.
That was,
LimeWire
like,
went
golden
down
age
for a
of
while.
the
Do you know?
internet.
Do you know
Yeah,
LimeWire's
LimeWire.
back?
Yeah.
And they're just like a Bitcoin like NFT. That's what they're focused on now.
Of course they are.
Limecoin.
That's great. I'm gonna download some NFTs. Sick. Was that everything? Do you guys have any other more topics? Can we jump over to Dune?
I'm good for some Dune.
I just want to shout out the NFL Combine that just went off this past weekend. There's actually the 40 time got broken. The record for the 40 time it
I
got
saw
broken.
that.
Yeah.
There's a new fastest
He
person.
like hurt himself.
No, that
after,
was somebody
didn't he?
else. Somebody else hurt themselves
Loser.
during that.
Fuck
But
me.
someone.
What was his time?
4.21, I think, is what the time was. Is the new record at the combine.
Yeah.
Matt, you think you could beat that?
Hell yeah.
Give you a week.
Give him week.
Give me 2 weeks, bro.
Get some prep time.
Oh,
A little
and
prep time. Some, give me some,
Matt with prep time, bro.
I wonder
Insane.
Matt with prep time.
if we
give me some HGH, bro.
if we ran the because I
peptides.
don't think I've ever ran a 40-yard dash timed. Like if we ran it today, I wonder what our times would be. Would we even
who would be
break
the
5
fastest?
seconds?
I
Ooh, a TFT
think I can
40-yard
get under
dash.
5.
Yeah.
I think I
Mickey,
can.
I'd win. No, I know I'd
press
win,
X to
actually.
doubt.
Maybe
I didn't get under 5.
Maybe if the next fantasy football league for TFP, the draft order should be determined by 40-yard dash times.
That would be
Ooh.
fun.
I will train for that.
I know you
I
would.
would absolutely train for it too.
I will
Yeah.
win.
Oh, you can win. Yeah, go for it.
I-
I don't care you win. I just need to be in the top half. I need to be one of the faster people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, sick boys. Well, Mickey, we're gonna talk about Dune 2 for a second. So I think you may be out on
Can I
Yeah,
at least be
10.
part of the Dune Popcorn Bowl discussion?
this one. Okay, yeah, Matt, talk about the Dune Popcorn Bowl.
He's got it right next to him.
Hell yeah.
Gotta do in Popcorn Bowl. It's very inefficient. There are many like it, but it is mine.
Yeah.
How do those tendrils
Yeah, man,
feel
this thing
going
is-
into it?
It just feels like, you know, like plastic hair on like a dog toy or something, or like the rubber hair. That's just what
Yeah.
it feels like little bristles. Yeah.
Did the
It's,
butter get stuck on it?
So when I got into the actual theater, I took the lid off because it was just like,
Yeah.
because literally
It's a nice
otherwise,
bucket.
maybe we can make a reel out of this. You're literally like clawing your hand to grab the popcorn and then like squeezing it and like crushing it to get it out. Like it was not at all efficient.
Yeah.
That said, though, I would buy it again for sure. It's sick. No, it's a cool
Bro,
bucket.
that bucket looks
Probably gonna be
dope.
part of my Halloween costume next year.
Oh, dude.
Um,
Friendly for
I will
Halloween,
say
for
this
sure.
is
I
a
was-
great marketing ploy. Like it
oh,
is
it's
so
genius. Yeah.
The bucket looks really high quality.
good. No,
Like,
it looks
like,
really nice.
Is it hard plastic? What is it?
It's like a solid like tin metal thing.
Oh,
Oh, it's
fuck.
metal?
Yeah, that looks like metal.
Yeah.
That's definitely metal.
Oh, I
Matt.
thought it was like a hard, shiny
Matt, how
plastic.
much was
no,
it?
no. I want to say like 20, somewhere in the 20s, 22, 23, 24, something like that. Which actually, I was prepared to pay 50.
Wow.
You got a collector's
yeah,
item,
that's
Matt.
definitely-
You got a
Yeah.
genuine. You need to keep that.
Yeah.
The original NFT.
Yeah, dude.
Um,
Imagine if that was digital now.
That's what I'm saying. But if this was
It's
digital,
part
this
of a
would be going
deluxe
for, like,
edition.
$300
Deluxe
already.
edition Dune 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be more because even just normal popcorn at AMC is like what, 13, $14, right?
Yeah.
So honestly, kind of a steal. Yeah, no, it's sick. It looks, I remember I thought it was fake when I saw the post about it.
I
but
definitely thought it was fake too.
it is real. Yeah, I saw a lot of other people walking around with them. It was like a little head nod, you know.
What?
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. What percentage of people do you think bought it for the joke, just to post on Instagram?
Oh, like half at least.
I don't
right?
think it's that.
I'm more or less in that category.
Like literally, like everyone I saw on Instagram this last weekend was just joking.
Okay, full on joke, like use it as a sex toy.
Well, like they wanted to buy popcorn, but they could have just bought a different bucket. But they were like, no, I'll spend $10 for the story.
No, for story.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a massive portion of it. I thought you meant for like use it as a sex toy kind of thing, because that's the big joke that's been going around.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wonder who. Okay, what percentage of people have actually fucked the bucket?
I'm gonna say
Like 5%.
I would say
at least.
somewhere between like 2.5 to
At
5%.
least.
I think around there.
Yeah.
Matt, have you fucked the bucket? Refuse to answer.
Plead the fifth.
All right, that's the show. All right, Mickey, we're gonna talk about Dune now.
I will take my leave then.
All right, cool. All right, peace, Mickey. Thank you for
All right.
joining.
Bye. You can find me in the Discord.
Yeah,
Yes.
we can. Wow. Well, if anybody wants to skip this part, we'll just talk for 10 minutes here.
Yeah.
If anybody has not seen the movie, please just turn off the podcast and bookmark it and come back to it when you have seen the movie. Lasanagaib.
That's not a game.
He is him.
Bro,
It is
that
written.
movie. Yeah, I've never. That was so weird. Like it was. I loved it. It was so funny. Like those parts. But like, I noticed at the end of it, I'm like, they fit like all of like the comedy of that movie into like a 30-minute period.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
so good. Because like
Yeah,
once
dude.
like that passes, I think there's a moment where he's like, oh yeah, like, you know, he's too humble. You see, the Masai even ever admit that
Of
he's
course,
a Masai.
of course he's home. Yeah, dude, that was
Um,
awesome.
After like that, it got serious. But no, man, that movie was so fucking good. That's probably like my favorite movie. Maybe my favorite. No, not theater experience, because that's a different thing. But probably my favorite movie I've seen in theaters in the past like 2-3 years for me personally.
Same.
That experience
Yeah.
in IMAX, and Lucas, I know you got to see it in 70mm, which I'm sure was a treat. But such an incredible movie, my God! Like everyone's acting was on point. Like yeah, all of it just so good. It looks beautiful. I didn't even know what was going on half the time, but I didn't get care because it was just so like visually impressive, and like the performances were all just that enthralling.
Yeah, it was awesome. Me and Chambers saw it at the same theater.
Yeah,
We went to the same showing.
We went
Nice.
with
Yeah.
producer Sam and some friends.
Yeah, we went to the Vista in Los Feliz, not too far from you, Matt, and saw it on film. It was gorgeous. It was
I believe it.
really, really cool. The energy in the theater was awesome. Like people were just got in like 30 minutes before the showing. Everybody was standing up. People were talking with friends, buying popcorn, buying whatever. It was an amazing theater going experience for sure.
It was sick. That was my first time at that theater.
It's sick,
Anybody
right?
who's in LA, go to the Vista. That's a great theater.
Super sick.
It was
Yeah.
very, very cool. And honestly, like, I watched Dune 1 not too long ago. Well, I watched it like last year for the first time, and then I rewatched it last month. And this is just straight up, they pick up right where it left off, and they just keep going. And like, man, they really like land the plane on all the themes. I think like there's a lot of, it's one of these things where like, it's such a big net. It's saying so many things that a lot of people are like misinterpreting a lot of the themes too. It's like kind of having that effect on
Yeah.
culture too, where like people are like, no, this movie's like toxic and saying the wrong thing. And some people are like, no, it's a cautionary tale. And like ultimately it's kind of all those things at the same time, which is what makes the movie so big and deep. And
He's kind
just
of
awesome.
like Aaron Yeager.
yeah, I mean, he's a complicated cautionary tale of like false
Yeah.
prophets and messiahs. And
It's like
stuff.
not a happy ending.
It's not. It's not
Yeah.
at all. It's actually a very sad ending.
Yeah.
But I just love the visuals of it. The sound is like some of the best sounding stuff I've ever heard in a theater. I feel like every sequence had so much visual feast for the eyes. Like they never ran out of ideas. It was like, oh, here's like the ships on the Harkonnen planet. Here's what they look like. Don't they look fucking sick? Oh, here's like them destroying a siege. Doesn't that look sick? It's like every single battle, every fight, every scene had a cool visual like motif or like just they never ran out of cool things to show you. They never repeated anything. It was just always new, cool, original stuff going at you.
The lore of the movie is really topical right now too, because I didn't even know this until after I watched it, actually, I was looking it up more. But I guess in the world of Dune, like one of the major things is that humanity genuinely, like, I guess their AI got pretty advanced and then they got afraid of it. So
Yeah, they banned computers.
They destroyed and like banned like computers basically. Then humanity itself developed, and you have like people that are basically like supercomputers and stuff like that. And part of the reason spice is so valuable is because like it helps bring out like your more like, you know, bring out more of your mental capacity. Like that's the only way they can safely like navigate the stars and everything. Yeah, so interesting and very relevant because like, you know, obviously we have AI is very prominent right now, which is super interesting. And obviously that's not the focal point of the movie, but just like that background. I was so impressed with Austin Butler's performance.
He was sick.
I'm pretty bullish on him lately. I didn't realize he plays Tex in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was him.
And that is him. Holy shit.
You know, he the movie Elvis was bad, but he was good.
I liked Elvis. Yeah. I have a soft spot for that movie. Yeah.
I think that's Tom Hanks' worst performance. Like,
it is.
ever.
It is.
Yeah.
That's the worst part.
Feels
by
like
far
a
of the
TV movie.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm like the only one that liked it.
Yeah, I like him as Elvis, so he's a great Elvis. And then I'm watching him in another just TV show right now on Apple TV. That's
Masters of Air.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is he good?
He's good in that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I have the best eye for that stuff overall, but I'm enjoying it. It's definitely like a Band of Brothers type thing, but it's good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I saw him in another movie recently too. But yeah, he crushed it, and that was such a like different role for him. I feel like a lot of times he's kind of played like obviously like a pretty boy, like Elvis, obviously. Masters of Air is kind of like the charming guy kind of thing, same thing. And then seeing him play like this bald, like psychopathic human was so sick.
Yeah, that was great.
And Timothy, man, I mean, his range is very impressive. I had seen him in The King, which was a movie I saw on Netflix that I really liked. I don't know if it's well regarded or not, but I liked it.
Yeah.
And I saw him like bring like that like leader energy and charisma. I saw that there too. And I mean, the fact that he can do that and then go play like fucking Wonka,
Willy Wonka,
is so impressive to me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, you know, a lot of character or actors will get kind of typecast into one specific type of role. Maybe that's, I mean, obviously that typecasting's a thing, but I mean, his range is just extremely impressive to me.
Yeah. Chambers, you haven't said much.
I got
Did you
thoughts.
like the movie or what?
I got thoughts. I love the movie. As somebody who has, I mean, not just me, but for the past like decade plus, we've had to deal with every like blockbuster action movie is like Star Wars or Marvel movies or like Chris Nolan movies, and that's like not a good group. And so it was so refreshing when the first one came out that I was like, oh my god, we have like a really fucking cool like epic action movie, and this outmatched the first movie. I thought it was beautiful. I think it's a little interesting how we're just down with. I feel like if this movie came out like 6 years ago, it would get canceled or something for like tribal white people. But
you think we're past that?
We're
now,
past.
finally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Timmy Chalamet's not getting canceled. But
people are trying.
People are trying
to cancel,
but it's not going to happen. It's too cool. I want to give it props. I want to give it props for making Christopher Walken like cool in this. Like, I don't remember the last time he was in a movie where he wasn't like doing a caricature of himself. And like, even though his role didn't require tons of personality, it was cool to see him in a serious role like this again. Shout out to I'm just looking at the cast right now, and there's so many stars.
There's so many people.
Yeah,
I know.
Stellan Skarsgård. I still think about Good Will Hunting. I was waiting for him to talk about the Fields Medal or something.
Yeah,
the whole time. Question: as somebody who didn't read Dune, is there going to be a third movie, or is this how the story ends?
No.
That's how the first book ends, but then there's a sequel the next book, another book that takes place 12 years later that still follows Paul.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, Matt, you've read Dune?
No, I just looked into it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't read Dune.
Okay.
So
yeah, I know it's regarded as one of the best.
I want to read
books,
the
too.
series now, though.
Yeah.
After watching all this, for sure.
The God, I just love I forget the Reverend Mother. I forget Paul's mom, Lady Jessica.
Yeah.
The whole movie, she's just like, Holy War? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta do it.
Yeah.
You gotta do it.
And then his fucking little sister's like, Holy War? I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, your brother.
I know.
And she's just like talking to her baby, her
Yeah.
fucking womb. Like, your brother's being a little punk right now.
Just
yeah.
I love the ideas like of how she's like really trying to push him into the role that he doesn't really want to necessarily be in. Like, and then like the tension between him and Zendaya's character, how like she loves him as a man, not as the Messiah, not as the prophet. And he like loves himself as he is as well. And he just wants to learn the Fremen ways. But his mom has like these big plans for him and stuff. And like basically pressures him into doing everything.
Tiger Mom.
All the stuff that ends up happening is because of his mom and the Bene Gesserit, like basically setting him up to do all this kind of stuff into the future. He just takes matters into his own hands at a certain point and says like, no, I'm going to do it my way. But it's still like in a way what his mom kind of wanted him to do. And it's like, I mean, he could have just been happy and he could have just been with Zendaya, you know?
Yeah.
Instead, he decided to drink the water of life and become corrupted.
Yeah.
You know, and I do find it really interesting too, like the themes of like kind of a foreigner coming into a foreign land and like taking over like the people of that land and then like waging them to war, like convincing them to go to battle for him, you know. And like the book was written in the 60s and everything, and I'm not sure if there's like a big Hitler parallel in that one, but you know, famously like Hitler's Austrian born and went to Germany. He's not blonde hair and blue eyed, but he like wanted everybody to be, you know, and like he probably wished that he was, you know, and like it's interesting the Fremen are also blue eyed, you know. I'm not sure if there's like this kind of anti-hero, like foreigner leader, like calling for all out war kind of parallel that Frank Herbert was really pushing for. But I find it to be very compelling. I don't think it's like a stale story. I think it's like still timely even to this day. Like colonization and like things that America does all the time overseas to like developing countries, you know, very similar. So I thought, man, just awesome. Like they really landed the plane with the complexity of like the political stuff and the mechanisms that like are in place in this universe. And then it also was just a fucking kick-ass visual feast the entire time.
Oh my God. I want to know, whoever did costume design, they better win at
They got to win something.
Oscars.
Dude, this movie was supposed to come out in November. Do you guys remember that? And then it got delayed.
I was wondering.
Strike
Okay, I was wondering why it came out in like March. I thought that was so strange for it to release at this time.
They said I think it was the strike. I don't know if it really was. But I'm glad that they waited.
Yeah,
because I think it came out at a really good time. I was listening to The Big Picture, and Chris Ryan was saying like, yeah, you know, there's no football on. Basketball's not in the playoffs yet. It's like it's actually the perfect time for like a big movie to come out, like in March, you know, early March. So I think it worked out perfectly for everyone at Warner Bros. And I think it has the highest IMDb rating for a movie premiere of all time, and I think it has the second highest Letterboxd rating of a movie of all time.
Damn! Wow.
Yeah.
I also, this makes me sad. I was reading yesterday that Tim Blake Nelson was supposed to be in the movie. If you guys don't know who that is,
Is that Buster Scrooge?
Yeah, Buster Scruggs. He was also the teacher in Holes.
Oh, he was?
Yeah. I guess he was pretty heartbroken that like all his scenes were cut from the. That really sucks.
Oh, he's in the movie, but they cut him.
They cut him out. Yeah, he did a part and it was completely cut out. And I can't imagine how much that would suck. Thinking like, oh, cool, I'm gonna be in Dune 2, and then you don't show up once.
Dude, I wonder what he. Oh, it's an undisclosed role.
It's undisclosed. People are saying that they think he would have played. I forget. I don't.
Fenring.
Yeah, who is like a character that's close with the Emperor. And yeah, I guess there was a couple scenes that he was gonna have with the Emperor,
with Christopher Walken,
yeah,
and Florence Pugh.
Yeah,
oh, dude. Dang, I like this actor a lot too. I'm sad.
Yeah, he's a great actor. So it sucks to see him not in it, but yeah.
Dang. All right. Any last minute thoughts?
Dune 2, movie of the year.
Yeah.
Lasana Gaib. I need you guys to hype me. We need to start hyping each other up in the same way that Stilgar hyped
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet.
Is
up
there
on
gonna
everything.
be like people speaking these languages now, like how people can speak
Probably.
Klingon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably, dude. And the one thing, have you guys seen like this? I think it's like started over the weekend, but like the memes of like Lasana Gaib, like that.
Yeah.
Like it's just like bro, like your homie who sneezes, and it's like Lasana Gaib. Like of course he sneezed. Just like you just say it about anything, like of course he would do that. Like,
Yeah. Honestly,
Pretty
too, like I know it's played for, I think, comedy, obviously, in the movie,
Yeah.
but it's probably also just like a larger thing about like how group think and you just like how think anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
fundamentalist thinking and like
Yeah.
belief and religion and everything. Yeah. It's totally commentary on that. And what's cool too, sorry, we're still talking about Dune. We're trying to wrap it up. But like,
It's like a satire in some ways.
well, I don't know about satire, but critical.
Critical.
Yes.
Yeah. But I do I love like how the South and like the North have different belief systems. Like the South is more fundamental for like reasons that aren't completely elaborated on in the movie. It's just like, oh, it's harder in the South to live, so those people like are more fundamentalist, like religious.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh man, okay.
They're Syria.
Kind of saying a lot right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of saying it without saying it right there.
One other thing for me, that fight scene at the end with Fade, Austin Butler's character, and Timmy Chalamet was
That was pretty
fucking
sick.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, one thing I will say too, right as that scene was happening, Matt, in our theater. So like when Timothy Chalamet like announces the plan and says like, I will take your daughter's hand in marriage, like the twist or whatever.
Yeah.
Someone in our theater, it was completely quiet.
She was right in front of me.
Some girl in our theater yelled, "What?" And like everyone started laughing because it was just like, yeah, it was a solid one. And then like it took us a full minute to reel back to the seriousness of the situation.
That's fucking funny.
It was pretty funny.
Ugh, that was such a good fight. I honestly thought he might die just with how the movie was going.
How did he kill him? Can someone explain? Did he have a second knife?
I think
No,
he had a
they
second-
they both put a knife into each other.
And I think he just got him in a more fatal spot because I think he got him in like his upper shoulder or something,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and then he got him in the gut.
Yeah.
But I don't
Okay.
know how Austin Butler's character wasn't aware that like he still had him.
I know.
Yeah.
Little silly.
I thought what happened at first. I thought he pulled the knife out of himself and then just stabbed him. Was my initial thought.
I
but
thought that too.
yeah, not totally sure, but either way,
Yeah.
he's sick.
Still epic.
Dune 2, the Lord of the Rings of this generation.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
third
yeah.
movie, when it comes out, it's going to win Oscars. It's going to be a beloved trilogy. It's going to be awesome.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, we good?
Yeah, I'm good, dude.
I'm great.
Give us the
All
send
right.
off, Matt.
All right, everyone. This has been. Thanks for playing. The Son of Gaib.